We're here with a good friend of mine, Andre Reed, and I had no idea when I was looking up your info, man, that you played 16 years. 16 years?
Dude, it seemed like it was about 40.
Man, no, I know better than that, man, because I'm going to be honest with you. I kept up with your career, and it just did not hit me until I looked at your stats and looked at your info that you played 16 years, man. When I saw that just blew my mind. And, to come out healthy like you did, man. And of course, nobody could catch you. So that was a big part.
I got lucky.
Yeah, well, it's all about being in the right place at the right time. And you were definitely that. And 11-time Pro Bowl selection, Hall of Fame in 2014.
7-time Pro Bowler, invited to 8. Yeah. But I only went 7.
Okay. But
2014 Hall of Fame inducted, yes.
In Kutztown?
Little old Kutztown.
And you were there recently, weren't you? Did you go back there for something last year?
I go back. I try to get back there. My mom still lives there. My brothers. Okay. My sister lives there. I try to get back there as much as possible. I have a lot of things I do in the community back there. Yeah. And I go to my college. Sometimes I go to my college for their homecoming game. Yeah. I mean, they named the stadium after me.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's what I mean, man. You got to go and show your face.
It's part of the deal. Yeah.
951 receptions, 13,198 yards, 87 touchdowns, and 13.9 yard average. Man, that's a pretty good a package of work right there, brother.
Well, you know what, Byron? And again, thank you for having me on here. You only do things because people around you not only believe in you, but they say things to you that are the same that other people might say to you, but you take it differently. Yeah. And I had a lot of mentors in my life, growing up from Pop Warner all the way to my first day in Buffalo, and brother, you and Jerry Butler, and all the guys that were there that year when I got drafted there in '85, just really took me in. Yeah. And I'll never forget that. I always tell people, they go, when you first got there, who were the receivers? I get all these questions. And I said, well, there's a guy named Byron Franklin there. I had Jerry Butler. Yeah. I had Mitchell Brookins. Yeah, Mitchell. I had what was that? Richardson. Richardson. And then the guy that came over from the Rams. He was like a 10, 11, 12. Preston Denard. He came over from the Rams, man. And he was like, he was like the real godfather when he came in, because he had been there like 4 or 5 or 6 years longer than I had been in the league. So it was really a interesting group, man. And I tell people this story all the time. You came in '85, and I remember this distinctly, man. You came in just really athletic, man, and coming in strong and powerful. And I remember having a conversation with your dad. It was during training camp. I remember having a conversation with your dad, and he was just watching practice, and we were coming off the field, and I went over and introduced myself to him, and I said, your son is doing really well, and he said, well, we just really hoping that he'll be able to do well and make it. And I told him, I said, I don't think you have to worry about that at all. I think he's just going to do great. And so I remember having that conversation with him. Yeah. And realizing, and now the other part of the story is, I'm thinking, man, there's always the other part.
Yeah, the other part of the story is, man, they're gonna put this dude over there on the other side. I'm gonna be over here on this side, and we're gonna tear this league apart. Well, it didn't quite work out like that. Because they brought in I think Chris Burkett.
Chris, remember Jimmy Teal,
Burkett.
Chris. Yep. That's when they had 12 rounds.
That's right.
They don't have 7 rounds now. So
that's right.
You had, how many guys were out there on the field in training camp?
Oh man, you had like 24 receivers battling for 5 spots, and 2 of the guys were starters, and they wasn't going anywhere.
And fighting for reps.
Right. So
can I get a rep, please? I got to get on film just in case.
It was a great experience, man. And I wanted to, tonight is really about, this is a flagship broadcast for my podcast. It's called the Shoulder Pad. Right. And how I came up with this, man, is that really you'd be amazed at the number of people, especially athletes, who are really barely making it. And what I mean by barely making it, man, I mean emotionally, psychologically, man, the transition from what we did to real world, I guess you could call it real world, is just a real challenge, man. Not just in athletics, but it's that way for anybody that's been into something long enough to become institutionalized in it. It could be someone that works on a railroad and they've done 34 years on the railroad or 40 years on the railroad. They don't know how to not be the railroad guy. You know what I mean? And so for us, finding a way to find that same fulfillment, finding a way to get acceptance, finding a way to find that camaraderie that we had in the locker room, and finding a way to reproduce that atmosphere or reproduce the feedback that we used to get is a very challenging thing. And so this particular podcast title is called The Outlet. And I'm using football analogies in all of my segments. One segment is called The Audible. One segment is called 2-minute drill. One segment is called film study. So I go down the line and use a lot of different analogies. But the outlet is in football, outlet is when you look downfield and you don't have anything anywhere, you spit that thing out. You got a quick outlet to get the ball out to someone else. Well, in life, we need an outlet, man, and finding a way to make the transition from what you did to real life now. So tell me about your how do you, Andre, how do you handle and now yours is a little different because you represent the NFL everywhere you go. And so do I, but you represent it from a different perspective. You represent it from a perspective of being one of the leading characters, as you would say, one of the leading leaders of the league. So for you, it's a little different, but how do you, I still bet that there's some times when you kind of got that thing rolling on the inside of you, man.
Oh, yeah.
And you're watching games. So how do you, Andre, make that transition to build that outlet for your life now?
That's a great question, Byron, because, people in sport in general want to know how you become so good, or the grind of becoming good and the steps it takes to be good.
Yeah.
And then when all that is said and done, and just as you said, the transition from being that guy to really just being an ordinary person to a certain point.
Yeah.
And some guys know how to handle it.
Yep.
And some guys don't. And I think when we came in the league, obviously social, what's going on in the internet, social media, and all this stuff has enhanced them a little bit more to be able to handle it a little bit better. Now, social media is good for you and it's bad for you.
Yeah.
But as you said, the outlets are more distinct now than they ever been.
Yeah.
For players that only play 2 or 3 years and something happens, and for players that play 10 or more years.
Yeah.
But it's really up to not only the individual player, but to the organizations to prepare these guys for what's going to be afterwards.
Yeah.
When the cheering stops,
Yeah.
And when all that kind of stuff happens, where are you going to be? Number one, are you satisfied with where you are?
Yeah.
And all the contacts and all the people you made through your journey, those will be the same people that'll get you through whatever times you're going through.
Yeah.
Because these kids nowadays think they can play forever.
Oh, yeah. We all did.
We all did. And that's just not the case. That's just flat out. That's not the case. But the NFL has more avenues for these guys to pursue, so they can get. So when that part of their life comes, it's an easier transition.
Yeah.
And when I talk to young players and kids in general, that's really life. Life is a complete transition every so many years that you got to change the whole scenario. You're on a different track.
That's right.
You could be doing this, and all of a sudden it's like, oh,
yep.
And you got to do that. And then you got to be ready for that. So the league has done a great job in the last 15, 20 years of getting these kids ready like that.
Yeah.
But then again, the guys before us, all these guys that I've talked to, when I go to Hall of Fame week every year and see 100 gold jackets in one room,
yeah,
I'm one of them.
Yeah, that's got to be amazing. Yeah, that's got
to. I'm still trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
But God prepares us in different ways.
Yeah.
And he has a way of preparing us where we either keep going on that same track, or whenever that track gets a little rough, you got to change the tires.
Yeah.
You got to rotate the tires.
Yeah.
That's really what life is. Life is a complete rotation of tires all the time.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I have a topic that I use, and when I'm talking a lot of times to kids, really to even adults, and the title is the art of reinvention, because we'll continue to have to reinvent ourselves over the course of time. We'll come to a pocket, and we'll hit that pocket, and then we have exhausted where we are, and then it's time to reinvent yourself. You know, you have to reinvent yourself and find out what else you have in you, or put some more stuff in you, and like you say, change the tires. And so I think it's saying the same thing as the art of reinvention. I'm gonna tell you, you may not even remember this, man, but I came over to Atlanta to one of the Super Bowls, and I happened to see you or meet with you in the lobby. And
I remember that.
You remember that? Watch this. Watch this. So we're standing there talking. This was a profound moment for me. We're standing there talking, man, and I'm done. I think I had just finished playing it in Seattle, and so my career is done. And I just wanted to come over and see some of you guys and just kind of feel the moment and wish you guys well for your game and stuff. And so I'm standing there, and this little kid walks up, and he says, "Mr. Reed, can I have your autograph?" And you being you said, "Hey, young man, you asking for my autograph, but you pointed to me, you said, you need to get this guy's autograph, because this guy was the man when I got to Buffalo." Now watch this. The little boy turned and looked at me, and he said these exact words: "What did your name used to be?"
And then you looked at me and said, "Used to be." I think it still is.
I remember that, but I'm gonna say something.
I do remember that.
I'm gonna say something about that. That was the first time that it hit me. I'm no longer that guy. It hit me right then in that hotel lobby when I was standing with you, and that little boy said, "What is your name used to be?" That was the first time I had ever been hit with that perspective.
Right.
And from that point on, I realized, man, I got to catch up.
You gotta flip the script.
I gotta flip this script, man, and I gotta catch up, man, and I gotta figure some things out. And that, I think, is the place where many of us, when I say us, I mean NFL guys, many of us, we're never able to really make that transition. Now, for me, I was really blessed in being able to build a relationship with God and start establishing a personal relationship. And it ultimately ended up in me going into ministry and actually becoming a pastor. I've been pastoring now for 20 years, and it's been an amazing journey making that transition. And that, I have to say, that's what kind of held me together. For if it had not been for that focus and having that purpose out in front of me, another purpose out in front of me, I think it would have been a tough going for me.
Especially that purpose. I don't know if you know Miles McPherson. You know Miles?
Yeah.
So Miles lives out here in San Diego.
He's got a church out there.
Yes, I go to his church, The Rock.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's awesome.
And
he's awesome, man.
Probably, yes. And he's actually going to be doing my doing my wedding.
Oh, no, that's right.
And one thing about my walk with God, we all thought that we were invincible. We all thought everything about us was about us.
Yeah.
It's like, here's my bubble. Everybody else outside of this bubble can never get in this bubble.
Right.
Because it's my bubble.
That's right.
And I got baptized in the Jordan River.
I remember.
In Israel in 2017.
I remember.
And that was the biggest thing that happened to me ever.
Yeah.
Because I became a changed person that quick.
Yeah.
And that told me that it ain't all about me.
Yeah.
As soon as I stepped foot and put my foot down in Israel, in Jerusalem, it was a different feeling that I never felt before.
Yeah.
So, my walk, our walk with God is always going to be a journey.
Yeah, for all of us.
And we're not perfect.
None of us.
There's only one perfect being, and he's up there.
That's right.
So it's been a journey that definitely will continue on.
Yeah.
And I got a great woman with me that is a godly woman.
That's right.
So bottom line is we're winning.
That's
in
right.
some kind of way. We're winning.
Well, you're a great guy, and I've watched you. Not only did I watch your career, Andre, but I watched your life and your lifestyle afterwards. Now you have a foundation, don't you? A reading foundation?
Yes, I have a reading foundation through the Boys and Girls Clubs of America.
Yeah.
And I've been doing this for 10, 12 years now.
Yeah.
And my reading program just encourages kids to realize how important reading is.
Yeah.
And what it can do for them in life. Because I tell them flat out, not everybody's going to be a pro athlete.
That's right.
And that's not going to happen.
That's the truth.
But going to school, getting an education, and basically the bottom line, I told them, I said, you know what? When I look at a playbook, if I couldn't read it, I definitely couldn't
play.
Do it.
That's right.
So if I couldn't read it, I couldn't execute it. So, our program is teaching kids to read 30 minutes a day.
Yeah.
Knowledge is power. Power is everything. And we just really build these kids up for self-esteem, because I go into places and I've been to 65 Boys and Girls Clubs over the country.
Wow.
In 32 states.
Yeah.
So not only do I tell my story as a club kid, but my encouragement is that I see them and I see myself.
Yeah.
And I know that with the right people around you, anything is possible.
That's right.
I don't care where you're from, what color you are, it doesn't matter.
That's right.
If somebody believes in you,
yeah,
that in turn, you'll start believing in yourself.
That's
and that's really what our motto is. So I've been doing that a while now, and it's been great.
So what's in store for Andre for the future? What are you looking out to see, or what are you trying to get to out beyond where you are?
Well, can just continue to do what I'm doing in the community. Yeah. Of encouraging these kids to realize their dreams, that no matter where they're from, that their dreams are attainable.
Yeah.
I'm an example of that.
Yeah.
Coming from a small school, interracial family, all kinds of crazy stuff going on. I wasn't supposed to make it, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be a stat.
Yeah.
Not a catch, not a run. I was just supposed to be a stat.
Right. I get it.
That they could do it. They could do anything they want to do too.
Yeah.
So, and they look at me and I tell them my story and what I went through, because, as athletes, they just see you on TV. They don't know
the life.
They don't know the meat and potatoes of you.
Yeah. Life. Yeah. Yeah.
They don't know that we all have lives. We all have lives too.
Yeah.
And some of our greatest athletes came from humble beginnings and not so humble beginnings.
Right.
So we're all in the same boat. It just, we just have different captains.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to find the right captain for your boat.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, man, I can't tell you how proud I am of you, man, and just so honored that you would take the time, man, to
come on, man. Byron Franklin,
into the shoulder pad.
One thing about you guys, not only did you take me in as a teammate, but you taught me how to be a pro. Yeah. And that's really the most important thing to me. You taught me from day one how to be a professional.
Yeah.
Because you can have all the talent in the world and do all this and jump high and all that, because there's somebody like that right behind you that can do the same thing.
That's right.
But people investing in you as a person, and teaching you how to be a professional.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially for teammates.
Yeah.
And you guys took me in, you taught me how to be pros, you and Jerry and all you, Preston Denard. I mean, I can't thank you guys enough. And you guys made me proud. Yeah. And I hope I made you guys proud.
You have, and you continue to, man. You know, being surrounded by the right people has been one of the things that's taken me to the next level, even after athletics, because now I grew up in a place that our rival school was a place called Carver County, and a guy by the name of Ozzie Newsome played there. And, oh yeah, man, Ozzie
the Wizard.
The Wiz, man, we grew up in the same area, came from the same state, same area, same county, and played against one another. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but Wiz was probably one of the greatest free safeties to play high school football. You couldn't throw anything anywhere down the field, and he's gone. So he was moved to tight end at Alabama, but his primary position was free safety.
I've seen Ozzie over the years, and he won't say that.
No, no.
So the next time I see that, I go, man, I talked to Byron Franklin and said, you were a safety, bro. Like, what? Yeah. You were coming down in the box and bringing the hammer down.
That's right. All that, man, all of that. And then down the road at Alabama A&M was a guy by the name of John Stallworth. And so my dad played at Alabama. My dad played at Alabama A&M. My dad is in the Hall of Fame at Alabama A&M.
Wow.
The only football games I ever saw growing up was Alabama A&M. That's all I ever saw. What made me want to be a receiver was we went to the Classic, Alabama State, Alabama A&M. John Stallworth is a senior. They throw a fade route to John. He
jumped over the dude.
No. He just puts one hand in the air, grabs it in the air, and watch this. Runs 48 yards with it just like this.
Hey, that's those swag schools, bro.
That's some swag schools, man. I turned to my dad. I said, Daddy, did you see that? He said, yes, son. That's the way to do it.
Here's a good one too. I wore 88 in college because I'm Lynn Swann.
Oh yeah.
Did I ever tell you that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yes, I wore 88 in college because I wanted to be Lynn Swann.
Wow.
And those were him, and the Steelers were my team. When I was in high school, the Steelers were my team.
I didn't know that.
And, Franco just passed away. God rest his soul. Franco was one of the great, let me tell you, talking about the guy should have, he probably does. He's got a halo on his head.
Oh, yeah. Great people.
Right now, he is up there with the Almighty right now. Yeah. That dude was as solid as you can get a person that I've ever talked to in life. Just like solid.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when I got inducted in 2014, I'm sitting there, like I said, at the Merlin Olsen luncheon, which is nobody's allowed in there. They don't even let no flies in there. If a fly goes in there, they got to get him out. So you got 100 of the best, 105, 10 of the best players ever in one building, in one room.
Wow.
And I remember when I got inducted, you go into this, you don't have your jacket yet till the next night.
Yeah.
You're technically not a Hall of Famer yet. As soon as you get the jacket, you get it.
Right.
But everybody can talk what they want to talk about, whatever. And we just sit there, it was me and me and all the guys were just sitting there. All the inductees, Walter Jones and Aeneas, swag guy.
Yeah, Aeneas.
We're all sitting there. You can't talk. You can't say anything.
Wow.
You just listen. I'm sitting there and I looked at John Stallworth, Franco Harris, Lynn Swann, and all the other Steelers, Mel Blount, all those guys.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, I go, what? Is this real? What am I doing in this room?
What am I doing in here?
I mean, it really hit me like that. Like, what am I doing in this room?
Yeah.
And it dawned on me years later that, you know what?
You earned it, brother.
Because at that time, I didn't think I didn't belong in that room.
You earned it, brother. You earned it. And you made it look easy, too. I mean, you made it look easy, brother.
But you know what? You guys taught me a lot, and I worked on myself. And in order for me to get better, I had to learn from the guys before me.
Well, you made it look very easy, man. You looked as smooth as butter, you know, strong and powerful, man. And I don't think, did you ever really lift weights?
Oh yeah, I was a straight up weightlifter, bro.
Yeah, see, you came in looking like a weightlifter almost.
Them dudes are bouncing off of me.
Yeah, man, they were bouncing off you, you know, and so you made it look easy. You were consummate professional, and then you had the right situation when Kelly came in.
It was over.
It was a party, brother. It was nothing but a party, and so I was just really, really, really proud of seeing you and seeing how well you performed. And
well, I you know what, you think about all the people that said something to you or touched you in some kind of way, where it was not only said something to you, but showed you this, showed you that. That ring I have and all that stuff I got, you guys are all in that, because I took pieces of everything.
Yeah.
And again, when I speak to some of these young guys in the league, oh yeah, I want to be in the Hall, I go, easier said than done.
It's a big hump, baby. That's a big hump. You got to get to the page first before you become the book.
Well, some of these guys got to read the first page first.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I just man, I don't know any other words to say to you, man, other than just that I'm proud of you and so appreciative that you would, you know, allow me to not only just do this, man, but just to be able to reach out and touch you, man. It's been
yes, sir. And we got to break some bread. I got to come down.
And when I saw you in Atlanta, you know, my wife was so embarrassed, man. I'm country. I'm straight country. So I see you across the room. I'm hollering, hey, Andre. My wife is like, hey, listen, this is classy, man. You can't
chill out, man. Hey, cool your jets.
Cool your jets, man. And she's lucky because Kurt Franklin was on the other side. I was fixing to holler at him. Hey, Kurt, hey man, we got the same last name.
I met Kurt Franklin at the Super Bowl a couple years back.
Yeah.
And he's a big football fan.
Oh, I know he is.
He's a big cool, yeah. And let me tell you, I've been blessed my whole life, man.
Yeah.
And the ones that are blessed, there's so much expected of you.
Yeah.
You pay it forward, and for the next generation to see not only how you do it, how you did it, but they get all the stuff that you did. They want to be like that. Yeah. You know, I wanted to be Lynn Swan. I wanted to be all these guys.
Yeah.
And when I see them now, I bow down to them, and they're like, man, stop doing it. I go, dude, I just want you to know, man, that you were, and kids do that to me now.
Yeah.
They do that to me. So it goes generations. So it's great that, you know, especially the Hall of Fame you have a platform.
Yeah.
And you're expected to be a certain way with that platform.
That's right.
Yep.
I have so many people around my life that, like I said, I got, you know, John Stallworth. He's done great work in Huntsville and scholarships and monies for.
Yes, he has, and I've been to his golf tournament a couple times too.
And then Ozzy, you know, Ozzy's, you know, of course, he's the GM for the Ravens for a while, and I think he's still with them, but he just stepped down from his GM position. But Ozzy's just, man, you just can't.
Quality.
Oh man, I mean, you know, so I got these are the two guys, the two receivers that came out of the state of Alabama. So I can't sit down. You know, I can't. Dre, I can't sit down.
Hey, hold up. You know, there's a third. I mean, there's a third. Somebody got to come in. Somebody got to take up the slack.
Well, I'm trying, man. I'm running.
You did.
I'm running, bro. I'm running, man. But I'm just saying.
You did.
But what I'm saying is, I got guys like you and those guys that have been around the perimeter of my life in some kind of way. And it's so crazy. It's so weird that at 64, I'm still fighting to try to represent and live up to the kind of people that I have associated with, competed against, played with,
I have so many great people, man, around my life, and I'm still fighting to get there.
But you know what? The game, a kid's game.
Yeah.
We're playing a kid's game. We played a kid's game.
Yeah.
Teaches you more about life and everything that you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
That's what this game teaches you.
Yeah.
And I tell these guys, and again, I always talk to these kids about what this game means. Be thankful you're able to play this game.
Yeah.
Be thankful you're able to play it as long as you can.
Yeah.
But embrace the game, embrace the lessons that you learned, because you're going to give it to somebody else and tell somebody else the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what I do when I talk to people. They
Yeah.
say, well, who are the mentors that you had on the team? And you guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And you never forget that. As long as I live, I'll never forget what you guys did for me and how you took me in and said, hey, this is how you do it. Watching Jerry run routes, watching you run routes. I was like,
man.
I was like this.
you added some to it too, though. You added your own, you put your own juice to it now. You got to take credit for that too. But that's just the attitude that you had to want to be open to learn. And so, man, I'm not going to keep you any longer. I know you got things to do, and
but it's been a pleasure being with you. Let's shoot me your number, phone number.
I will.
You're in Atlanta, right? You live in Atlanta?
No, I'm in Alabama. I'm in Birmingham.
Okay. I come back here. I come back that way a lot, and we definitely have to sit down, have some dinner, break some bread. And
what part of California?
San Diego.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's awesome. Yeah. So somehow, somewhere we'll meet up, and
we'll meet up, man. But man, I appreciate you having me on, bro. I was honored to be on a guy I looked up to.
Well, I tell you what, prayers for Damar and Hamlin and his family, and prayers for the Bills.
Everybody out there that's gonna watch this, keep praying for him.
Yeah.
His family. Pray for the city of Buffalo. Buffalo's been through a lot.
Yeah.
The last 8, 9, 10 months.
Blizzard and everything.
One thing about Buffalonians, man, when I got there, I realized just how resilient and strong.
Oh, yes, sir.
They don't care.
No, sir.
And they will give you the shirt off their back if you need it.
Blue collar, baby. Blue collar. All the way live. Blue collar, man.
Yep.
They're real people. So man, love to you, peace to you, and I appreciate you. And tell your fiance I said hello, and that I'm praying for you guys. Y'all got a date set yet?
March 5th.
March the 5th, man. I just pray blessings over your marriage and over your relationship, and that God uses your relationship to minister to other people, and you use the platform that you have to accentuate marriage and encourage other people to be married, because it's God's first institution. It's the first institution he instituted. And it's important because he wants to use it to grow the kingdom. So thank you so much, Andre, man. I love you.
God, I'm gonna tell Pastor Miles that I'm saying, hey man, I talked to Byron.
Yeah,
I was on his podcast. I'm gonna tell Pastor Miles, like, man, I covered him. He wasn't nothing.
Hey, I'm gonna come out and visit the church, man, because I've seen him several times, man. He does.
He has a great following. He does a lot of great stuff in it. Great stuff in the community with the church. Yeah,
I'm gonna make a point to come out there to visit, man. Maybe me and my wife will come out to visit, man. So
be awesome.
You can see that, and I'll let you know.
When it's cold down there, it's always warm. It's nice.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I got you. Okay,
you got it.
Thank
you,
man.
brother.
Take care.
Much love.
Love to you too, man.
And if it all falls down, we can put it back together again.